your spirit, welling deep inside. You got a beast inside. I know it's hard to tame it, it's harder to explain it. Can't even get a picture, no matter how you frame it. There's so much pressure with all these external stresses, and they try to test you. Gotta push them through the feeling, even though your mind is reeling. The power's deep inside and leads you if you were willing. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Power of Shut Up. We come here every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you all know most of the time we're talking about the wonderful guests that we have here, all the projects that they're working on. And we talk a little bit about the power of shut up. But tonight we have a full house. I'm excited about it. We're kind of ending Women's History Month. We've been celebrating Women's History Month all month of March. And we've had some exciting guests on here to represent. And we're not doing anything different tonight. We have a full house of an amazing cast. There's a new production that's in the DMV area. For those who are in the area, we got some information on how you can make sure you're there to support them. But we're going to have a little conversation and talk about what's to come with this. I think it's going to be exciting. So please stay tuned. I wanted to first say we want to do what we usually do. I have an exciting announcement at the end of this as well, but I wanted to first say happy birthday to anyone who's celebrating a birthday today or for the month of March. Y'all know how I feel about celebrating. It doesn't have to be any special occasion, but birthdays are wonderful. But it could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't care. I'll take any reason to celebrate. I also wanted to say happy anniversary to anyone who's celebrating love. I am that mushy gushy kind of person. So yeah, let's celebrate love any day. But if today happens to be your anniversary or this month, happy anniversary to you. I also wanted to say congratulations. Congratulations to anybody who actually, did something off of their bucket list, tried something new, bought a new home, a new job, or just congratulations for getting through today. Sometimes that's all you need for congratulations. But we're also going to say congratulations to who's with us tonight because they have a wonderful production coming up. So early congratulations to you all. But I think in May, you'll be able to check it out. But we got more details coming. So I just wanted to make sure that I remind everybody to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel to check out all the other shows and this show as well. But thank you so much for continuing to support the Power of Shut Up. We come here to just talk about how we can communicate better with one another. And at the same time, we try to empower, inspire, and enlighten others as they live out their dreams and share what they have going on here on this platform. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce, and we have a full house, like I said, so I'm going to ask them to kind of be my co-host for tonight. As we introduce who we have here and actually why we are here. So we have quite a few people, and I'm not even picky about who. I might give all of you an opportunity to share about somebody else that you're on this cast with, but I wanted to make sure we understood why we're here. So there's a production that is coming out, and it's called Laughing in Spite of Caregivers Journey. Now, I'm really excited about this. I think a lot of people will be able to relate to what they're talking about, but let's get into it. So who wants to be my first co-host and kind of introduce all of the cast members? And then we're just going to go through and let everybody know what you do as part of this production and get into what this production is all about. So who wants to be the first co-host?
So I don't mind.
Okay, let's do it. So
So
let me first
mhm.
introduce you. I think I have everybody's bio. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I know we just have an hour, but you all will be coming back, I believe. I'm not sure. So
Yeah,
let me just give you a little bit. I think this is the director of the
yeah.
production, Jacqueline Anderson, who has a passion for entertainment as a producer, writer, director, and actress. Jacqueline's desire for storytelling with an inspiring message took her from behind the scenes as a camera operator to studying the art of filmmaking. Now, I'm going to keep it short because you can tell more about yourself than I can. And I love bios, but I love people when they're actually here just telling about what they do. So, tell us a little bit about this and then share with us all of the cast members.
Oh, for sure. So, I am so blessed to be able to collaborate with such a team of talented people, from Rosalind Morgan, who wrote the book, Elaine Hutchinson, who wrote the play based on the book, and to the myriad of amazing actors who have brought Elaine and Rosalind's words to life. Very humbled to work with this group. So I've talked about Rosalind and Elaine. Um, we have Diane Powell there waving at you, playing the lead role, or one of the lead roles. She is Rosalind. We have Star waving at you as
Welcome.
as Mary. We have Derek, who plays our narrator.
Okay.
Mhm. We have Ed down there. I see you, Ed. Who plays Papa Charles. He's dad.
Okay.
Yeah, Christian playing Fred. And oh my gosh, my literal right hand, Diane Washington. She has humbly put herself, named herself stage manager. But when I say she is my right hand, sometimes my right brain, she is so much more than just a stage manager. She's being humble by saying that. She reminds me constantly, dots I's, crosses T's, just an amazing, amazing lady and an amazing group of people to be able to work with. I couldn't ask for a better team.
I love it. And I'm fascinated by the title of this production. I don't know all of the details, but I wanted to save some of that for this evening. I have an idea, but I wanted to find out with everybody else the details of what this is, what the message is with this production. So, did someone else want to be co-host and tell us a little bit about what this production is actually, what's going on, what this is about? Who's next?
Elaine.
Don't be shy.
I was waiting for the stuff in there.
I thought it would be Rosalind because she wrote the book and I read the book and I said, my goodness, this could be a good play. And she agreed, and her and I coordinated. And every time I sent her information about what I want to write, she said, "That sounds good. That sounds good." And so, really, the book is really about her mother, and about a 10-year travel from a healthy, wonderful, vibrant woman,
Mm-hmm.
and then 10 years later, she's unrecognizable. And that's something we all, God forbid, we have to go through that in life. But it's good to know about dementia and Alzheimer's, exactly what we can do, because we can see it and we can hear it on stage. And I think that's a double whammy. When you can see and hear it, it gives you a good example of what to do if it ever happens to any one of us. And
Absolutely.
so Rosalind, you wrote a good book, girl.
Well, what I'll do is shift to Rosalind. We can't, I don't know if we can see you, Rosalind, but give us a little background since this was in regards to a book that you wrote. We definitely want to know what the background of that is. So give us a little background on how we got here. We might be having some technical difficulties.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so while we're trying to see if we can get Rosalind in, can someone else share us a little bit about how this ended up being a playwright? So, you know, I am, as a author and publisher, I'm always fascinated when books turn into playwrights and movies and things like that. I think it's awesome because I usually end up loving both. I love the book, but then once I see it, I'm just like, oh, I get it. Because, sometimes reading, you got to go back and read it again. But when you're able to watch it happen in real time. So how did we get to this being a playwright?
Well, basically, like I was saying, I spoke with Rosalind about her book, and I visualized everything that I read in her book. I visualized it on stage. I said, "This is really dynamic. I can really make this happen." And she didn't believe me at first. And then when I started writing, she said, "Yeah, that works. That works." And then I said, "We're going to need a great director, and I know just the person to call." And that's when I called on my good friend Jackie, awesome director. Oh my goodness, she's the best, in
Yeah.
my opinion. And
She-
that's when she, said, you know what, we met um, at my apartment about 2018. And the three of us sat around and talked about the possibilities. And Jackie said, you know what, I agree with you. This could be a really, really good play, and I'm willing to work with you. So, Jackie, take it from there because, you know, you put everything I was thinking in the book and everything I thought I wanted to say, you put more into it than I even imagined. You brought it to life. You make it a living document. And I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate all of you. It goes back to the initial penning of the book because honestly, I feel like if it wasn't so well written and if it wasn't written so that you could literally visualize what was going on, I feel I don't want to put words in your mouth, Elaine, but I feel like you would not have seen it to
True.
say, hey, we can, because you're taking it from a written tome to a visual thing on stage, right? So I believe that the writing was really good and it made you visualize what was going on as you were reading through it. And so you saw that and you wrote the play. From there, again, the writing was so good that I'm seeing these things in my head and I'm able from because of this wonderful writing, I'm able to see the nuances of the different thought processes of the characters and the connections of the characters. One of the things that stood out most to me is that yes, this is a play about Alzheimer's and it's a play about dementia, but it's also a play about relationships, how they start, how they change when life changes, how they are resilient in the face of what could be devastating, how they stay together. It is about the ebb and flow of relationships. And through the writing of both of these wonderful ladies, it's evident to me how these characters are thinking and feeling. And then we have our amazing actors that come and portray not just remember, and I say it all the time in rehearsal, we're not here to show the audience how well we memorize our lines. We are here to show the audience who these people are through their thoughts and their feelings and their interconnections. And again, I couldn't have a better cast to be able to do that with.
So I really want to get into because you all mentioned I think Alzheimer's, dementia, and I think a lot of people, I love the fact that that's what this is about. I think a lot of people can relate to this. A lot of people have a lot to learn about this. I know I did. I lost my grandmother to Alzheimer's. And when I saw the title and Caregivers was in the title, I was really ecstatic because even early on, when we found out my grandmother had Alzheimer's or dementia first and then Alzheimer's, immediately we started to kind of research things. And the first thing I thought of was, sometimes the caregiver can go long before the person with Alzheimer's if we're not careful. So immediately it was like, how do we come together so that I can make sure while my mother is looking out for her mother, that I'm looking out for my mother. And I think a lot of people don't know what's entailed with this. And a lot of times they don't recognize it for what it is. So the fact that you have this play that's going to really kind of highlight this and share some of this is amazing, because I think the more we learn, the more we can actually tend to it. I think a lot of times we were misunderstanding what was happening to our loved ones. So Rosalind, I see we have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about why you even wrote the book?
Yes, I always say God made me write this book, because it took me 9 years to write, because it brought out back a lot of memories and all with dealing with my mother, because initially I had no idea, never heard of Alzheimer's. I didn't know what it was. She was in South Carolina. The doctors were horrible. And I didn't find out what was wrong with her until I brought her here to live with me. And the doctor diagnosed her here. And by that time, she was like in the middle stages. So it was a lot of drama, trust me. So by writing this book, I always used to say my brother's the writer. I'm not the writer, but I kept notes. When she would do things, I had to write notes to remind myself, if she does it again, I know what to do. Even those notes didn't really work half of the time, but it helped. So I just believe this book was written to help other people, and that's the goal. And that's why I'm so grateful when Elaine read it, that she thought about the play. Like she said, I didn't believe her. I'm like, you don't want to write a play about this. Really? So, but look at God. That's all I can say, and the way we did it is not only to show what goes on with this disease, because it's a roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
It also, we want the people to learn about, the different phases and what can happen and what they can do. So I'm grateful for her for that.
I think it's great. I mean, I think it's needed. We don't talk about it enough, actually. So I'm looking forward to continuing to share this with people who are in the area. But even if you're not in the area, to support this. So more of this, absolutely. So I wanted to talk to some of the people who have been cast for this wonderful project. And I kind of want to know individually from you all, how do you feel about this project? What made you say yes to being a part of this? And we can start, let's start from the top. And I think who's at the top with us? Who am I looking at? Derek?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My initial thought, I'll be honest, I really didn't think much about the actual disease or diagnosis. Although one of my relatives, my grandfather, he actually was diagnosed. He was diagnosed with dementia, which is right in that family. And I think when he had it, it was like right at the end. So I never experienced any of the. I don't have any of the experience that Rosalind had, but I just know a little about it. But as I initially stated when I first got cast, I really didn't think much about it until we got into a lot of the practices and the emotional aspect of the character, I guess, in a sense, got to me. Okay. And that's when it kind of I guess made me alert of what this was really about.
I love that. And I love to see the gentlemen in the house. A lot of times the ladies are straight to the mic, and so I love to see when the men come in and are a part of something like this. It really is a big deal to me, because a lot of times we don't see you all. So I like to see you here in the room. I'm gonna pass this over to Kristen. Tell us a little bit about why you said yes to this project.
Well, for me, it was just a blessing to be cast. This is like the third running of this play, and it's my second time performing as Fred. And when I was cast, they didn't tell me the role I would be playing. So when I got to the table read, it was like once they said, "All right, Kristen, this is Kristen." We was going around the table introducing everybody, and they was like, "This is Kristen Curry, and he's gonna be playing the role of Fred." And I looked at Fred, and Fred was in like all these scenes, I was like, what? For real? Because I just thought I was gonna be like a small role, like a doctor or something, playing one of those parts. But when they had cast me as Shrek, I didn't know initially. So it was a blessing, it was an honor. And then as I learned about the play, it being about Alzheimer's, and my grandmother dealt with some dementia, not full blown Alzheimer's, but I had other people that I know whose mothers dealt with Alzheimer's and everything like that. I said, yeah, this is something I like to be a part of, because I felt like I could really portray the son of mother who's dealing with Alzheimer's. So I just think it fit, and I was just blessed to be asked to play this role. And then and then Jackie coming in. I know this isn't her first time directing it, but this is the first time with me, and she's bringing a different dynamic to not just my character, but like all of the characters within the play. She, just the way she directs and the way she has her insight on how these characters should be bringing out these emotions and feeling. I'm excited to play Fred this year the way I'm playing him, because it's different than the way I played him last time.
I
So it's
love
just it's
it.
just exciting.
I love it. Now, before I go to the two cast members that were on the flyer, because we're going to show you the flyer, but I wanted to go to Ed first and tell us why your yes to this project.
Well, for me, first of all, when Elaine calls and say, I would like for you to be in a part in a play, here I come. I'm coming running anyway. So that was a no-brainer for me. And then knowing that the people who I know that she was probably going to have cast for certain roles were already acted with, that was something, that was a no-brainer for me. And then adding to that, knowing that the director, Jackie, was going to be directing, I could not say no to that. And after meeting Rosalind and hearing the story and how the play was going to take place, that I had to just come on full force and be a part of this cast, because I know it was going to be an amazing play, and I always look forward working with this cast.
I love it. It's some easy yeses up in here, Jacqueline and Elaine. And I want to move this over to Diane and Star. I know that you all are actually on the flyer, but tell us a little bit about the dynamic with your cast and why you said yes. Let's start with Star, and then Diane, I'm gonna come to you.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, the reason I said yes because I love to act, but I'm about like Christian. When I saw this book, when I saw the script, and I saw all those scenes that I was in, and all those long paragraphs, I said, I might be too old for this. I might not remember all these lines, because in a couple of weeks I'll be 74. And I said, can I remember all these lines? But I enjoyed. And what I like about this play, what I really like about this play is my grandmother raised me. So I have this special attachment to the elderly. And one of the things this play would do, it would teach people, don't blame everything on old age. A lot of times when you get older and you might forget where the keys are. First thing I think, oh, that's just old age. But it might be a sign that you're getting dementia or Alzheimer's. And this what this play does, it warns people, let them know some of the tell signs of getting this disease. So I enjoy it, and I like the role that I play. And Mary and I, we have so much in common, because she grew up in South Carolina. I grew up in North Carolina. We picked cotton, put in the tobacco, slopped the holes. She did the same thing. So I can relate to her things. And Negro buses for Negroes, I mean, we didn't have them at that time. When we did have buses, it was to segregate us, bus me 12 miles away so I wouldn't have to go to the white high school. So I can relate to a lot of things that she went through with.
I love it. Diane, why your yes?
Well, for two reasons. First, as I can't remember who said it, but when Elaine calls, you go. I've worked with Elaine on other projects, and I've always enjoyed myself. But I also have a special love for everybody here. I mean, it's just like a one big happy family when we get together. And it's just, they just bring it out of you. But the second reason is I worked for a pension fund for 30 years. And one of the things that I started noticing is that a lot of the death certificates would come in through with the word Alzheimer's, and that's when I was like, "Woman, what is this Alzheimer's?" And I started researching. At the same time, I was studying for this play, and so it kind of made it make sense because I thought Alzheimer's was, it was tangible. It was a disease that you could touch or see or whatever. And I mean, you see the remnants of it, but you can't really see it. So that brought it home for me as well.
Well, and I like the fact that this is going to be, and I love a production that actually teaches something, or gives you information that you didn't know. Because, like you said, I mean, when it came to my family, we didn't know what we were looking at, and we're still learning things. We're learning things every day about what happens with dementia and Alzheimer's. So when you do things like this, it kind of puts things in kind of layman terms for people so that they can understand what they may be looking at. It might not always be that, but at least you know that this is an area you can kind of check into and see. Now, one thing I heard earlier when everybody was joining in was it almost feel like you all were a family. I know that this is a play and you connect and you have your roles, but it sounds like you all have actually blended as a family, whether you're on the stage or off the stage. So how has that been? And anyone can kind of share, but how has that been for you? Because that makes the production all the more when everybody's really connecting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yesterday we celebrated Diane Washington's birthday with cupcakes. It was like my little sister's birthday,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it's like every time I see Star, she's not Star, she's Mom. Every time I see Roz, Diane, she's not Diane, she's Roz. She's my sis. Hey sis, hey
Hey,
bro.
sis.
That's just kind of what we do.
I love it. So let me ask this: what is it that, and this can go for each of you all. What is it that you want someone who comes to see you all on May 10th? Because we're going to give them information on how they can get tickets. What do you want people to take away from this play after they come? Because of course we want to send them to the book as well. So you got a book, you got a play. Yeah, y'all need to read it and take all of it in. But what do you want people to get? What's the message that you want them to get from this?
Well, for me, I definitely want them to know, and it's a statistic that in Prince George's County is number 2 in the nation for Alzheimer's.
Really?
Really. And Rosalind, you can chime in with that.
Yes, it's there was a study that was done last year. Yes, last year. Um, and they looked at 3,142 counties in the U.S. and Baltimore County, Miami-Dade, and I think it was Bronx, another county in New York, tied for number 1. Prince George's County came in as number 2 with the prevalence of Alzheimer's disease. And that's an issue. So we have to let people know about this disease, what to do. When they see signs, don't just dismiss it, because a lot of us do that. Go ahead and get help. Talk to your doctor. If the doctor did what the one in South Carolina did me, find somebody else. You want to get the help, and you want somebody who's going to help you, not somebody who's going to dismiss you, because I hear that over and over again. So forget that doctor, go to another one till you find the help that you need.
Absolutely. And before we go any further, Diane, because we got 2 Dianes in here, so we want to make sure we don't miss Diane. But Diane, I want you to share kind of your experience, because I heard that you like the right hand, and I know that could be a lot. So tell us about your experience, and why did you say yes to this? Because it's a lot of work.
They forced me to say yes. No, I'm just kidding. No, so when I started with the production, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Did I start with makeup? I think I started with makeup, and then I transitioned to be the daughter for about 2 years, like for 2 runs. And then I was like, well, I'm a little too old to play the daughter, so just wherever else you need me. And that's how I was asked to become the stage manager. With my experience working with with the cast, and I've worked with Jackie before on other productions. I worked with Elaine, who I'm eternally grateful for allowing me to work with her. And I'm definitely grateful for Roz allowing me to continue working with her project because this is her baby. And so when it comes to my position, the one thing that I always do is I always make sure that I do my part so that it makes it easier for everybody else because we're a team. And I don't ever want anybody to feel like they have to pick up the slack for me or anything like that. Um, but I wanted to also answer your question about, what did you want people to take away? And for me, I wanted them to realize that they're not alone. A lot of times with caregivers, they feel like by circumstance that they feel like they're alone, but they're not always alone. You may not have immediate help right then and there, but there is always support outside of that to help you get through it.
I love that. And that's why I said when I saw caregivers, it was really important to me because I saw it firsthand how although my grandmother was going through what she went through and that was a challenge in itself, I saw the frustration with my mom. Because you become the target of the energy that wasn't always good. Because they're fearful, they're scared, they don't know what's going on, and then you're trying to help them, they don't want your help. You're trying to be there, but at times you feel beat up. I mean, I saw it all firsthand. I'm thankful that we knew that we have to kind of stick together as a family. But I know in this day and age, a lot of times families don't come together or they're so distant from other issues that they're not there for each other, which is what you need in these times. So I'm really grateful that you all are really kind of honing in on the caregivers because, yeah, it's a real thing. And it's a lot to take care of someone who sometimes doesn't remember anything about you to know that you're there for them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a stranger that's helping you so you don't get what you think would naturally come because it's your mom or your dad or whatever. So I really appreciate you all doing this. But thank you, because that message that you're not alone is huge, because I think that's how people feel quite often. Did anybody have anything else that they wanted to share about what you want them to
You said you had asked how do we are we friends and everything like that. Well, Diane and I, we're both early risers. So we'll get up sometime at 5 o'clock and 5:30 and go by lines. And then we'll call Elaine. We'll say, Elaine, you don't join us in the morning? Oh no, I don't get up till 11 o'clock. And there's things in the play that we use
Right.
in our conversations, we use every day. Like I know what I'm doing or stop this or whatever. Anyways, different lines in the play that we use in our everyday language when Diane and I are talking to each other. So it's been fun. It is fun.
Yeah.
And I wanted to chime in. The play, it's people will laugh. Trust me. Miss Starr plays my mother is in heaven, cracking up because she's funny. You will laugh, you may cry, but you will learn. So it's you have everything in that. So I've had people who said they've come before and they've learned something. Every time we do this play, there's something different that they'll see. So it's not the same that it was when we did in 2019. There's always something different,
Right.
and it gets better and better. So that's why I strongly encourage people to come on out. You're going to be surprised.
So I'm glad that you said that, because what we're going to do now is I'm going to show the flyer, and then we'll come back to the conversation. But share us a little bit. I know the information is on the flyer, but they might not be able to see it. So when I show the flyer, someone could share the details of when this play is, where it's going to be, and any information that people need to know so that they can get their tickets. But this is the play that we have been talking about here called Laughing in Spite of: A Caregiver's Journey. So if anyone wanted to share the details and the deets of this, that would be great.
Okay, well, I will step on in. So Laughing in Spite of: A Caregiver's Journey will be Saturday, May 10th at 3 p.m. at the Public Playhouse. That address is, if you don't know, 5445 Landover Road, Hyattsville, Maryland. Tickets are $35 general admission, and I would quote the VIP price, but VIP tickets are sold out.
That part.
So, So we have general admission tickets left, but I have to tell you, there are no bad seats. If you've ever been to the public playhouse, you know there are no bad seats. Um, you can scan the QR code there, or you can go to the website that's on the flyer there. Um, and there are a few of us that are walking around with literal physical tickets. So if you encounter one of us, you may be able to just grab your ticket on the spot.
And
you
I
could,
will continue to post this flyer on our website for those who want to do the scanning, the little fancier than kind of our old school pen to paper, real books in hand kind of people that need a little more help. But we will continue to share. And like I said, the cast will be back up until the time of the play. Yeah, you go ahead. I just wanted to let them know that we're going to continue to share this information. So if you're not writing it down, which you should be right about now, writing it down, but we're going to bring it back to you. So we're going to give you another opportunity to know how to get your tickets.
Thank you.
and
Oh,
I and I can
I
and I
left
can
off. There's a phone number. There's Rosalind's phone number, and I believe
yes.
Elaine's phone number are on the flyer too. So if you just want to do old school, talk to somebody, you don't feel like dealing with technology, you can speak to somebody, and they will also help you order your tickets.
And to add to that, there's also a Q&A after the play with some very important information where you can ask your question live to subject matter experts. So
Oh,
that's very important to know. You can get
that
your
is
answers the same
awesome.
day.
Yes. Yeah, we've done the panel discussions and they are very informative. And even after the panel discussions, I collect all of the questions. Each person will get a like an index card. They can write their questions down. We obviously will not have time to answer all the questions, but what I do, I take those questions and reach out to the panelists later and get their response. And I have put them into a frequently asked questions. So not only will as long as they give me a legible email address, not only will they get the Q&A from that one, they would get the ones from previously ones because I combine them all together. So
Okay.
they will also get that. And I also want to put my website out there. I know it's on the flyer. They can reach out to www.Rosalind, ROSALYN, F like in Frank, Morgan, MORGAN.com. And that's where you can get your tickets.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do is take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and continue the conversation. So hold tight because we want to have some more conversation. And I do want to welcome people who are in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Power Shut Up podcast. But if you all have any questions that you would love to ask the cast, please feel free. But we're going to take this commercial break. We're going to be right back. So hold tight.
Is your family struggling to communicate? Do misunderstandings and arguments seem to be the norm? This fall, discover a new way to connect with the ones you love on the Power of Shut Up podcast. Join us as we explore the incredible power of listening and the art of effective communication. Each episode brings expert insights, real-life stories, and practical tips to help families like yours build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Learn how to truly hear each other, express yourselves with kindness, and create a harmonious home environment. It's time to transform your family's communication dynamics and find peace in the power of silence. Tune into the Power of Shut Up podcast this fall, because sometimes the best way to speak is to simply listen. Available on all streaming platforms. Don't miss out.
Okay.
So that's just a little note to let you all know that the Power Shut Up is real. It's a whole mood. And you all know the times that we are living in right now where we need to learn how to exercise our power of shut up, which means sometimes we need to know when to zip it. And we have to be strategic in what we say, how we say it. I know sometimes people talk about tone policing and things like that, but I think it's always necessary to think before you speak. And I try to connect that to anything. So even in the frame of what we're talking about with Alzheimer's, dementia, things like that, just be mindful that, we all don't know everything. So when we're speaking or we see something that looks like a thing, let's ask a few questions. try to read the room, so to speak. But we need to be careful about how we're talking to people, and people are going through some stuff. So we have to be careful on our tone, how we're talking to people, what we're asking, and when. There's a time and a place for everything. So that's what this platform also talks about. And when it comes to the power shut up, it relates to anything you could be doing in your life, to be honest with you. We all got to communicate, and that's verbally or non-verbally. And it really will come into play when you're dealing with someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia. It can come into play and be very helpful. So let's get back into the conversation. And again, I thank everybody for tuning in. There's y'all team come deep, because I see a whole lot of people in these comments that are just shouting you out. I saw somebody say, that's my mama. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love to see. But did you all have anything that you wanted to share about? I know you said, I love the fact that you all are going to answer questions. I think that's awesome. I've seen that done before, and I think that's great. Can someone share some of the challenges in preparing for this playwright? Was there a difficult moment or a challenging moment where you had to really push through because it was difficult? Does anybody have any of those kind of experiences?
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
I am in complete agreement with Rosalind that every time we've done this play, it's been different. What for me, for my role, what was difficult was trying to, or realizing, honestly, we've always gotten a good reception with the play, but realizing that maybe some of the other characters outside of the two main characters, their feelings, their thoughts may not have been as felt as I would have liked them to be. And so this go round, in addition to being informative and in addition to being educational, I also want the people who stand in the stead of the granddaughter and the grandson and the brother to feel seen and heard, as well as the primary caregiver, and obviously the one being affected by Alzheimer's. But I think just the way that this play has been written, it lends itself to making sure that each member of the family is seen. And in my struggle, this go round, and it's been an interesting challenge, is to make sure that we're not just having these other characters other than Mary and Rosalind just be peripheral characters. Granddaughters are impacted, grandsons are impacted, and it is okay to feel how you feel and to go through the myriad of emotions that you go through, and come out on the other side. So that my challenge is to make sure that those other family members also feel seen and heard as portrayed by the characters in the play.
I love that you said that, because I think we do kind of forget that this is a family situation. Everybody is feeling something. Even down to my children, when we were going through that they knew their grandmother or their great grandmother, but she didn't remember them, or she called them someone else. And, they had difficulty with understanding, why is she calling me? That's not who I am. And so there would be these arguments going back and forth where we have to say, look, she's not arguing with you. And we had to have those kind of conversations. So to what you're saying, I think it's good that even at a young age, we start to educate our young people on, what they're seeing, so that they understand and they're sensitive to it, as opposed to feeling like, offended and things like that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it is a family situation. Everybody is affected and involved in all of these kind of situations, not one or two people. And that goes back to the you're not alone. This is a family affair for sure.
Yeah, and I want to chime in because my children, they remember the old grandmother, but when this came about, they were totally confused. And they went through this with me, because at the time I was going through it, I couldn't find any help. I would reach out, I would never get a call back. I couldn't find anything. So I was willy-nilly. I'll say I was winging it, I guess you want to say, the entire time. So that's another reason why I'm glad the Lord had me write this book, and Elaine wrote the play, because with my book, after writing that, I also wrote a children's book to teach parents how to explain to children what to do with it. So the children's book is based on my children's experience with their grandmother. So yeah, because it's needed, because children, they don't understand.
That's true.
They really don't understand what's going on, and mine didn't. So we were in this whole thing together.
I love that. What I would like to do, because I know we're running out of time, but you all have been amazing. What I would love to do is go around and have everyone share again who they are, what their role is in the play, and also how people can reach out to you, because I know you all are also doing other amazing things. So we want to be able to allow people that are in the chat to connect with you all and stay connected so that they don't miss this play that is May. I think it's the 10th, and y'all need to get your tickets or gift a ticket to someone if you're not in the area. Just support the cause. We got to look out for each other. We got to support one another. So we're just going to start from Jacqueline, go around, tell us who you are, tell us how people can reach out to you, and any final thoughts that you want to share.
Yes. So Jacqueline Anderson, I am the director, otherwise known as the servant of these great talents, because amazing. So yes, you can find me at Jackie Elise, JACQUIE, Elise 21 on Instagram. And at Jacqueline Anderson on Facebook. And anywhere Rosalind and Elaine are.
And with that said, Elaine.
Okay, well, Elaine Hutchinson, we have a nonprofit organization that actually does plays about things like this, health situations. And it's called Divine Revelation Entertainment and Educational Services. And so it's Divine Revelation ENT, short for entertainment.org. And you can see all the plays we've done in the past. We also do banquet for cancer conquerors. So that's the way to get in hold of me. My phone number is 301-523-0120.
Okay, so that means that Elaine's not sleeping much.
No,
So Diane.
This Diane?
Yes, Diane
Okay.
Powell. We're gonna go across. Yeah.
All right. So you can reach me at dianepowellactress.com on my website, or dianepowellactress@gmail.com, or Diane Powell Actress on Instagram, or Diane Powell Acting Up on Facebook.
Not acting up.
Yeah. Acting Up. And I also work with Elaine with Drees. So I'm a part of that organization as well. I'm the secretary with her.
Okay.
Yep. I think that
and
was
I think Star is next.
Okay, as I said before, I'm married. I play Rosalind's mother in the play. You can reach me at retired.sam@gmail.com. I'm also vice president of Dreams. My telephone number is 240-501-2822. Also, I would like to say, if you cannot attend the play, to support our organization, you can always give a donation. We accept those also. And I want to say this right quick. For the panel, I wanted Rosalind, once you get to her turn, to tell about the real doctor that's going to be on the panel. That's it.
Absolutely. Kristen?
Yes. So I'm Kristen David Curry. Star, you also play my mother. So I play Star's son and Fred. But you can reach me on Facebook, Kristen David Curry. and Instagram Kristen D Curry. And yeah, got to come out and see it. Bring everyone.
Absolutely. The other Diane.
Don't nobody contact me for nothing. No, I'm just kidding. No, you can find me on Instagram at DEE, like David, Edward, Renee, RENAYE. That's all together. I do have a TikTok, but I don't really post anything on there. So most likely you can find me on Instagram. Otherwise, if you want to find me, you can always contact Elaine or Roz or Jackie, and they'll get it to me.
Okay. Derek?
I'm the interesting narrator. You can contact me on Facebook under my name, Derek Lampkins, or through Instagram at Black Man Dat DATI is.
Okay, and I think we had Rosalind.
Hi there. You can reach me at my email address, rosalindfmorgan@gmail.com. I also have started a nonprofit, which Elaine is a part of, called Caregiver Biz. And that nonprofit is to help caregivers, because I didn't have any help when I was a caregiver, so I want to help others.
All right.
And you can reach me at 240-248-245-0348. That's the Caregiver Biz number, or my regular number, 240-481-9302. And I'm also on Facebook at Rosalind Morgan under Facebook.
Thank you all so much. So before we go, I want to first thank you all for coming and sharing. I look forward to you all coming back. So this is not the last that you've seen of them, so we can continue to get the word out. I wanted to remind you of a couple of projects. You all know I have the Power Shut Up book. That's kind of where the podcast came from. We also have a Power Shut Up symposium that we do yearly. I've gotten away from that a little bit, but I'm also working on a journal. I wanted to just share with you all. I'm working, it's behind the scenes, but life has been a little crazy. But I do have a couple of journals that are coming out, so please stay tuned. It's Shut Up and Write It Down. And this is really about getting stuff out your head before it comes out your mouth. But it works in tune with the book, and like I said, as a reminder that we need to be more mindful about what we say, not only to other people but to ourselves. And I also wanted to remind you, I'm an affiliate with a company called Notes to Self, and it's I want you to grab your socks. I give these away. I will be giving more of these away, especially come April, because it's my birthday month. But please go to notestoself.com/POSU. You can grab you some socks, but I absolutely love being an affiliate of this company, because they have positive affirmations. They're over the toe of your foot. And the concept is that as soon as you put your feet down on the floor, you look down, the first thing you see is something that will uplift you. I think that's absolutely amazing. So I became an affiliate with them, and I love giving them away. I love wearing them too. So I have many of them. But I wanted to just kind of mention to you all that I would love for you to go out and grab your socks. I see his divine appointment says those socks are fire. They really are. They are good socks. They have compression socks. They have things for kids. They have a wonderful selection of things. So please check it out. And again, I wanted to thank everyone who's in the chat that supported, that continues to support. We appreciate you. This was an amazing topic. I'm looking forward to us coming back and talking about this again. Bernadette said, hi, Lisa. Awesome. Definitely will support. I appreciate you. I'm seeing some familiar faces. Please continue to share with your family and friends. Let them know that this cast will be coming back, to make sure you all have the information you need to get those tickets. It's not the last time I'm going to say it. But we really want you to be able to, because when you get to go to something like this and you learn about it and you embrace it, then you're able to have a conversation with someone else who didn't make it, but you can share with them about what you learned, and then they get intrigued and then they want to come back. I did want to ask you before we left, you all mentioned that you did this production back in 2019. Was that the last time you did this production?
No, we did it at Harmony Hall in June of last year.
Okay. So if someone's out there that was there last year and was able to go to this, please share with them the wonderful things that we got to encourage people to get there. And I would share, I have I think Diane mentioned that we've been on set with each other before. She is the pro. I am not. But I had an amazing time. But I will say that I have been a part of a play, and that I have a whole new appreciation for people in plays, because that is so real time. Anything you do that wasn't part of what you were supposed to do has become part of what's being done. So it's a special craft that ever since I've been a part of a play and had to learn my lines, and they never came out right each and every time, I have learned to embrace the fact that this takes skill, y'all. So they put in a lot of work to do this. And on top of that, being able to deliver such a powerful message. We got to support each other. And we got to look out for our families as well. So this hits both of those. So I look forward to having you all here again. Diane, can you remind me what date in April you all are coming back? I think April and May.
It's April the 10th and May the 1st.
Yes, so they will be back again, and I look forward to you all coming back and joining us. I wanted to also remind you, somebody mentioned it, that they were loving retirement. So I would like to make a special announcement. Like I said, the world has been a crazy place, but I would like to share officially. I've been doing a countdown, so some people may know, but I am officially retired as of
congratulations.
I am
welcome.
so excited.
Welcome to the crew.
Yes, it was 30 years with the Department of Education. That's a whole nother story. Y'all can't get into it right now, but 30 years. I love the fact that I am coming out during Women's History Month. I served my time. I enjoyed what I did, but I am absolutely looking forward to what's to come. Many things on my plate. I'm going to try not to fill my plate up too soon because I need to rest. So April, I will definitely be enjoying new retirement. And April is my birthday month. So I hope y'all come back in April, because we tend to turn it up a little bit and have some fun, because that's what I love to do. Giveaways for sure. So y'all get some more socks. I know my people in the chat to get the socks, but I did want to officially announce that I will be retiring. I have turned in everything. I am just awaiting the 31st to get here. And the biggest part of it is that I get to enjoy my new full-time job of driving my husband crazy.
Loving it.
I'm looking forward to it. So I don't know if he's looking forward to it, but I'm coming, so you got to get used to it.
To what date is your birthday?
My birthday is April 22nd.
Okay. Wow. My mother's birthday was the 23rd.
Oh, wow. Yes. April is loaded for us. My mother kicks things off on the 3rd. And then my birthday is on the 22nd. My grandson's birthday is on the 25th. My daughter's is on the 29th. My stepson's is on the 1st of May. And we have a couple of friends and family in between there too. So that might be why my husband's not looking so forward to this month.
So you're a Taurus?
I am absolutely a Taurus.
Yes, she is. And you mentioned my brother's birthday is April 3rd. I'm great.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So see, hey.
So, and to let you all know, I know the football players always say when they retire, they're headed to Disney World, which I love Disney World. I went there for my 50th birthday, so don't be sleeping on Disney World. But I instead am going to go to my mama's house, okay? I worked hard, and I want to hang out with my mother and celebrate her birthday. So I thank you all for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having
you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And y'all better get them tickets. So visit the Power Shut Up Facebook page or go to the Lisa Dove Washington YouTube channel and get the information. We will continue to share the flyer, and we look forward to seeing you next week. So until then, y'all have a wonderful weekend and enjoy life. That's what
Yes,
we want to say.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes,
You.
awesome.